Nearly 500,000 Aussies have missed a mortgage repayment. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and I want to discuss an article which is looking at, well, the results from a Finder survey about Aussies missing mortgage payments, which is a bad sign. Now they've taken a sample and they've blown it up to the number of mortgage holders and we'll look at that, but before we do, I just want to, go through, now 7 reasons why I don't think we're going to see a calamitous crash in the housing market. Now, the first is the non-performing loans are still a tiny fraction of residential property loans. It's still very, very small. So while we're seeing these survey results, the actual number of non-performing loans, at least in the data that we have, has gone down from the peak during the lockdowns and is still very low about all of them. Past due, 0.35% of loans, guys. This is tiny. You're always going to have some people that miss out on these repayments, so you got to keep that in mind. The media will emphasize negativity because it's an evolutionary an evolutionary advantage for us to be concerned with the dangers in life for self-preservation. Okay, keep that in mind. And the second thing is, they're opening the floodgates. Labor is increasing migration. International students and migrants are returning to Australia. Now, while we like to bitch and moan and complain about all of the frustrations here in Australia, it's still a pretty bloody awesome country to live. Housing affordability is probably the biggest issue for most young people, but it could be much worse. You can always just go, live the rent life and just invest in other income streams and just chill as a backup. You've got the construction apocalypse. At the moment, it appears to be a daily video I'm doing of another builder going bust. The government just juiced up the housing sector. Insolvencies are returning back to where they were. And a lot of builders are getting burned. That's going to limit our ability to address housing supply, particularly with immigration, international students, all of these things returning to normal, so demand will go up. You've got government support, market intervention and stimulus of the economy. You've got the cash rate, which was crashed down to an insanely low level. Now, apparently, everyone wants to fire the RBA governor because rates are going back up. We're now at what used to be considered an emergency level. Just remember that. You've got home builder juicing up the housing market, overinflating it. Everyone will get 15 grand as a minimum, and you probably spend more on your house jobs and renovation jobs anyway. You've got grants and handouts. In Western Australia, when you combined everything, some people were getting up to 88,000 in grants and discounts. You've got 5 and 2% government loans. 2% as a deposit. You can't tell me that that's not hard to pull together for a house, 2%. But that doesn't mean you're going to be ready for interest rate increases, and we're seeing the sob story start to appear now. The only good thing, it was capped at $10,000. So our Aussie politicians, they're not as stupid as the Americans just handing out money to everyone. They're limiting it. Negative gearing, it's part of our culture, and the super withdrawals, they also overheated the market. You've got them keeping the zombie companies alive as well, guys. Okay, we can't forget that. Then the next one, market competition. Just remember, 50% of the people in our country live in these 3 blue areas, guys. Okay, this is why property prices in these areas are so high. No one wants to live here. Okay, no one wants to live in any of this part of. Even you get a bit further out in here, it's getting bloody hot and uncomfortable. Okay, you have to pay people a shitload of money to fly them out in the middle of nowhere and back and forth. There's a reason. And then, number 6, we've got legislative changes. There are new requirements on the National Construction Code that are being adopted in various states that are increasing the energy efficiency requirements and the accessibility requirements. Now, these things sound good in practice, but the master builders are suggesting the changes will add $30,000 to every new build. That means every existing build in comparison is looking $30,000 better, so, the prices of those will creep up as well. This is adding support to housing prices. So when people lobby, when people push for these interventions, for these policies that sound good, these are the impacts of it. Okay, you've got to understand what you're voting for. If you really care about housing affordability, you've got to stop with all the touchy-feely good policies, because that costs money and it costs people opportunities. Number 7, APRA. APRA. And this is an article we looked at yesterday. The APRA, or the chair of APRA, has revealed he is open to changing bank rules on home loans if the Australian economy deteriorates, ensuring banks do not choke off credit and upset home prices further. So if the economy starts to get in trouble, APRA will intervene less in the market, have less, or change the restrictions or buffers that banks need, increasing people's borrowing capacity. And what do you think that will do for housing prices? It adds an additional support level. So these are 7 things we need to consider when we're discussing, well, these changes to these predictions and stories of woe about the housing market. Keep all of this in mind. So with that in mind, let's have a look at this article. So 430,000 mortgage holders admit to missing a payment. Things could get worse. Well, no, it's not 430,000. It's 313. You know what? They've only got 1,000 survey respondents here. And actually, let me check on my channel if I did a poll on this. I think I did one recently asking if my viewers missed a mortgage repayment. Hang on. Bear with me as I... Oh boy, you can hear we had nothing but bloody hot summer sun, hot bloody days, heat waves, and now we're getting rain. So it's awesome. It's awesome. Let me just check here on my polls. Okay, here we go. Yes. So on my survey, on my channel, where I asked, have you ever fallen behind on your mortgage repayments? We had 10 days ago, I asked 1,300 viewers, responded more than the Finder result, and there we had only 11% and said yes or yay, and 89% said no. So there you go. There's the, I don't know how accurate the HeiseSays survey is. Well, the demographic is about 90% male, 10% female, about 90% Aussie viewers, with a majority of you being about the 30s up. So older men, a lot of people in trades, a lot of people in construction, judging by the comments, feedback, and content I put out there. But there you go, 11% of us have missed on a mortgage repayment, as opposed to the Finder survey, which says, well, 1 in 8, which is 13%. 1 in 8 has missed at least one mortgage payment in the past 6 months. So we're doing that little bit better than Finder. Now, the question is this normal? Where's the trend? What's the historic data here? Or is this just getting worse? Okay, so are they telling us this? The research found 7% of mortgage holders had missed one home loan repayment in the past 6 months, while a worrying 6% of homeowners had missed more than one repayment. That's equivalent to 429,000 mortgages missing a repayment since July. So they're saying 6%. Non-performing loans 30 days past due on the last data we had is 0.35%. So there's a bit of a discrepancy there. Is this where it's heading? Is this the future? Is this what's happening now? So that's a huge increase. A small proportion of mortgage holders, 2%, had asked their lender for a repayment holiday or had applied for hardship. Finder Home Loans expert Richard Whitten said the level of mortgage stress in Australia was worrying. 9 consecutive rate hikes from the RBA means an Australian with an average home loan of around $600,000 will be paying roughly $1,000 more per month compared to what they were paying in April last year. Households are really struggling with the monthly outlay, and some just can't keep up. I honestly think this is going to be mainly newer borrowers who FOMO'd in. People who took advantage of the government handouts, the home builder schemes, all of this stuff, who FOMO'd into the market, are now realizing that, well, reality's setting in, sadly. The leading cause of missing a repayment was rising interest rates of 37%, while 1 in 3, 33% simply forgot to pay on time. Yeah, I can appreciate that. 1 in 4 Aussies who missed a repayment in the past 6 months admitted it was because they had run out of money after paying other bills. Well, no, you pay the mortgage first, okay? And then you've got to cut other expenses. 1 in 7 homeowners said they thought they would miss a repayment in the next 6 months if costs rose any further. Whitten said for many Australians, mortgage rates were creeping up too quickly. With mortgage rates shooting up over 5% in 2023, Aussies who had been diligently servicing their monthly repayments were finding it harder to do so. With further rate hikes predicted, things are about to get worse. Okay, so there we have it, guys. Let's have a talk about this. So is this Finder survey a sign of calamitous and dangerous times going ahead? Well, it's 13% of them have missed a payment, and, well, 11% of the viewers of the channel have. But I didn't say in the last 6 months. I should probably do another poll so we can get something a little bit more equivalent to what they're asking, and just to compare the viewership to the Finder result. So, well, we're not seeing this yet in the non-performing loans. That's what we need to keep an eye on if the banks start reporting these non-performing loans going up to 6%. Because then, well, it could be a bit of trouble. I think what you'll see is the banks will start tapping people on the shoulder if it gets that bad. What do you reckon, guys? As always, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on all of this. And we have to keep an eye on the news. If you're in this situation where you can't meet your mortgage repayments, you need to make some serious lifestyle changes. And you're going to learn what's a luxury and what isn't really quick. Really quick. As always, thanks for watching. Check out Heise BIM and Heise Does for other content I create. If you're a fan and want to support us, you can on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our Pocket Squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.